Hi, I'm Susie, and this is Food with the Rumseys. I today am going to be participating in this little adventure, and I'm going to show you how to make chicken stock because we are currently out of it. So first I will show you all the stuff that goes into a basic chicken stock, and then later on I will be showing you how to pressure can chicken stock, but you can always freeze it if you don't have a pressure canner. So let's get started. The first thing is a chicken. And there's a couple different schools of thought. This is considered a chicken like that is old and tough, and it's perfect for making chicken stock. So I get it from Seven Sons, which is a local place that has grass-fed beef and things like that. And I got it on sale. And so I'm gonna dump it in. It might make a noise. Yeah, there, okay, good. The chicken's in the pot. This is the kind of pot that you're going to want to have if you can. Basically, your biggest pot is going to be the best, because if you're going through the trouble of making this, then you want to make sure that you actually make a lot, because it's kind of a pain, you know. The other thing that I do that is, some people would argue you use all fresh ingredients and you put in an onion and this and that. I save table scraps and vegetable scraps over time. And so what I do each time I make stock is I start with, if I have a chicken carcass, suppose I roast a whole chicken, I'll save all the bones. And so like here is a mystery bag from the freezer that looks like it has pieces of chicken carcass in it. So we're gonna dump that in, like that. And what else have we got? We've got a bag of vegetable peelings, and it looks like stalks of parsley. I'm gonna toss him in. And I have some onions that were in the freezer. And here's some old celery that was in the freezer. And the thing about all these things is, yeah, they've got freezer burn and whatever. It really doesn't matter. You're gonna boil them to death anyway, so you're gonna get all the nutrients and stuff out of them. And then another little random bag of carrots. So the other thing is that there's a pretty good amount of stuff in there, but typically what I do is I kind of gauge, okay, with the size of this pot, you want to make sure it's really flavorful broth. And so you also can clean out your fridge for various things. For example, I have a weazened old zucchini here that I'm going to go ahead and just cut into chunks and chuck in, because it can get boiled to death and it's fine. It looks like I can use enough extra carrots, so I wash these. I'm just going to break it and toss it in. There is enough onion in there. And there's some parsley, but I happen to have a whole bunch of parsley here. And so what I do often is I'll just kind of take it out of the bag and I will cut off just the stems. The whole bunch of parsley is actually edible, including the stems, but they're just kind of tough, and so they're really good for things like stock. Okay, so that's all the goodness in there. I need to wipe my hands off. So the other things that you need to add to make this delicious, first I put in some peppercorns, and obviously we apparently buy in bulk when it comes to lots of things, including peppercorns. And this needs to be opened, so one moment please. Maybe. Okay, so I'm gonna put in that many. The other thing that you need to make sure to put into chicken stock is salt. And welcome to one of our cats. Stay back. That's Cooper. The other thing you need to make sure to do is add salt. The one thing that can change a chicken stock from tasting like sort of dirty dishwater to being delicious is salt. And so we're going to start with a couple hefty pinches of it. I would guess that this is probably tablespoon. I don't measure. I am not the baker in the family. I am not the mathematician in the family. I go by eye. And so that's how I would do it. Then what I will do, once this is turned off, is I will fill this with water up to probably close to the brim, and then I will bring it to a boil and reduce it to a simmer. Then I will let it just simmer pretty much as long as I feel like. Today it's about 11 in the morning, and so probably about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock this afternoon, I will check on it and see if it's simmered enough that everything is sort of given off all of its goodness, and we can go ahead and strain it and then can it. Okay, so I have filled the pot with water, and you can see that the vegetables are pretty floaty in here. It's not super full. It looked full probably before, although I don't know that we showed you a picture of it. So at this point, it's all ready to go. I'm going to turn on the stove to high, and I'm going to slap a lid on it. And then probably it'll take like 20 to 30 minutes to come up to a boil because it's such a big pot. And the reason I'll know is that it'll spill out and make a great big mess everywhere because I won't be paying attention to it, because that's how I cook. See you soon. Okay, so as promised, I forgot about it long enough to the point that it is boiling over and making a mess on my stove top. So what I'm going to do is make sure it's not super hot, and it is. And I will take off the lid. I will give it a bit of a stir just to zhuzh it around, and then I'll turn it down. Probably on, because I have a electric stove, I probably reduce it to like medium low, and then oftentimes I will go ahead and leave it cracked like that so the steam has someplace to come out. Just know that if you leave it completely off, it will reduce your stock, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But again, I'm trying to make bulk stock, and I leave it in long enough that I want all of the water to actually have that flavor and goodness. So we'll see you soon.